Thank you, David. Thank you, Hieronymus. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Aeschylus. But no thank you, Fred. Fred Chanel wrote the book which taught me English, basic English. After that, I learned nothing. Glass roof. I want Fred dead. Fred is an Australian educator. He lives in Australia. I go to find Fred. All the way to Australia. Is Fred here? No. Or here? Yes, here is Fred. See Fred run. Me with horse, Fred with foot. I catch Fred. I say, do you know me? Fred, no. I say, you taught me to speak like this. Fred says, that's nice. Now go. Fred wants to eat. But I say, Fred, you must pay. Because now I can do nothing in this world. I want to be funny. I want to tell many jokes, like the big, funny man. Here he is. He could be me. I could tell the jokes that the world loves. But because of Fred, I have no words for these jokes. I say to Fred, I will not kill you if you teach me one good joke. Fred looks frightened, but he thinks quick. He says to me, I know my sister is bleeding because of the taste on my dad's dick. I am shocked. I think of this family. I am sick. But still, it is a joke. It is a start to my voyage. Perhaps the world will love me for this joke. I go back to England. I go around the world to England. Etc. etc. In England, they hate sex. And so I tell a different joke. My mother is so fat, I say, and then stop. Nobody laughs. I try again. My father is so fat, I say. Still, nobody laughs. Then I hit gold. My mother-in-law is so fat, I shout, and before I finish, they all laugh so much. I may be now a small, funny man in England, but he is a big, funny man, the most big. I want to be like him. First, I will go to his house. His house is on television, so I will go to television. I am knocking on television. There comes no reply. I will go to the other side of television. Still no reply. And so I ask the CIA on Facebook for his address. They tell me, of course. I go to his house and knock on his door. I will tell the big, funny man that I love him. He will take me as his friend. He will teach me many things, to speak quickly and well. But still, no door opens. And so I go to the window. And look in. At first, it looks like television. Commercials, public service announcements. And then I see my wife. She wears no clothes. My first wife, I call her Ha Ha, my only wife. Why is she naked with him? Now, I will stop this story. Too much heart pain for me. I will talk about my fat mother-in-law again. We were flying to Nepal. We wanted a cheap holiday. My mother-in-law is so fat, and I too am fat. So fat that the aeroplane can hardly rise. It skims the tops of trees in France. And then in Germany, chimney pots from which sweeps wave cheerfully. And then Czechoslovakia, or rather the Czech Republic. Many storks and cranes are frightened by our passing. Finally, Russia and wheat, and then even more finally, India and poor people driving expensive cars. At last, the mountains. They make your heart swell inside your fat body. Sadly, we never arrive. Our weight crashes that plane. One of us dies. The other, me, still alive. Now, a difficult time. Should I eat the body of my mother-in-law? I think for 10 minutes. Her body looks tasty. I am so hungry after airline food. This is real food. And so I take the plastic fork and knife and survive for now. I will climb the high mountain alone. It is freezing cold. I don't know what waits for me, but at least I have reached the roof of the world. Here, everything is clear and calm. I discover a magic kingdom. Shangri-La. Everybody understands me there and speaks in basic English. They say, I'm funny in Shangri-La. I hide the fact that I have eaten human flesh. If I told them this, the end. But now I dare to tell them about Fred. How Fred destroyed my life. And after many years in Shangri-La, I tell them about the big, funny man in England and how I saw my wife with him naked. My first wife in Shangri-La, my second wife is there. She is as beautiful as and I am as happy as. Often we row on the mirror lake. I try to tell her about other worlds and countries. She has never been outside of Shangri-La. I tell her they are red or blue. Her eyes light up. I tell her the sky is like a roof with many lights. She says, tell me more. I tell her they read small black marks on snow made with sticks. She wants to make marks in snow. We climb to the peak of the highest mountain and, carrying sticks, begin to draw. I draw a circle with 2 holes and say, this is my enemy, Fred. And then I trample and smooth that place, and Fred disappears. She draws a tiny baby, and soon we will have this baby. She has made it happen. But before the baby is born, I must go back to England. I discover the secret exit from Shangri-La. It is through the gift shop. I climb down the mountain, go through the bookshop first, then the gift shop where I must buy a small oven glove with a picture of Mondrian in the style of his paintings. Wearing the oven glove, I walk all the way home to England. Because I am wearing such a stupid oven glove, nobody in England takes me seriously. They think I am a punk rocker. No, I say, I bought this in a gift shop, and then they respect me. I go back to the house of the big, funny man, and I smother him with the oven glove. Now I will be the big, funny man in England, but not so quick, Nick. I cannot speak fast enough for television, and so they record me at my normal speed, then triple it. I become so successful, I am able to build a large house in central London. It is next door to the house of Lord Leighton, another successful artist. The birds are in my trees, although Lord Leighton says they are his trees. because they hang over the fence. Lord Leighton wants birds only in his garden, even my birds. He takes out a public nuisance order against me through the council, and I am sent away while leasing my property for cultural events. I go back to Shangri-La and my second wife. I tell her I have killed my enemy. She says, "You fool! You killed your hero. Your enemy was Fred in Australia." I realize she is right, and so I leave again, exiting through the gift shop. This time, I buy a small pen with a suspension of liquid in the cap. It depicts the entire Venice Biennale of 2015. With this small pen, I can curate the next Venice Biennale. All the information is in the pen cap. The chosen curator resigns. He realizes my choices are better. And so I abandon my visit to Australia and settle in Venice for 2 years. It is the most successful biennale in the history of Venice. All the nations look up to me. The greatest curator since Mussolini. I also do not admit to Freeze magazine that I have eaten human flesh. Although, if I did say it was the flesh of my mother-in-law, they would probably just laugh. I become cruel and decadent. I forget about my dear wife in Shangri-La. Worldly success has gone to my head. I become the mortal enemy of Klaus Biesenbach, the man I most hate because of his power. We decide to wrestle in Mexico to see who will dominate the art world. Biesenbach is so fat. I am so thin by now. I must surely stifle under his body. The bell rings. It is, of course, on television throughout Mexico. Nobody there knows who Klaus is. That is in my favor. Klaus takes a running jump kick at me. It takes him a long time because of his weight. I dodge cleverly. I have seen him in action on Tuesday afternoons at MoMA. I know that move. Klaus, you are on the ropes, I say, and with my pointed head, charge! Like a unicorn, Klaus is skewered to the post. There, his enormous blubber feeds an entire city. Now I rule the art world. But magnanimously, what did I say? Magnanimously? But I have learned to speak properly. My stay in the art world has taught me words like transcendent, reification, and plateau. But magnanimously, I walk away, the victor, and yet humble. I will return now to Shangri-La and my second wife. I think I have made the right decision. But when I get to Shangri-La, I find that my wife has met a new man. She has practiced a critique of me, interrogating my mode of procedure in bed, and found me sorely wanting. The new man is the big funny man from England. I thought he was dead. Apparently not. Or perhaps everybody in Shangri-La is always dead. Art is about the moment nothing turns to something, and 0 turns to 1. And yet, there is no 0. There is only 1. The world plus the work equals the world. My friend Martin told me at MoMA one day, art changes nothing. If we are born, we have been born. But I can speak conditionally, and about the past now, I can say anything. I will become a writer now. I can write and think everything. This is the end. Thank you.